What if the person you trusted the most turned out to be the one you should have feared all along? For 3 days, 7 to 2 hours filled with fear, confusion, and deception, a family searched for their missing daughter. Police retraced her steps, friends rallied for information, and a community grew desperate for answers. But during those same 7 to 2 hours, the one man closest to her, the boyfriend who should have been helping, was orchestrating a cover-up so cold, so manipulative, it would leave investigators stunned. This is not just a story of a murder. It's a story of lies, betrayal, and the horrifying attempt of one man to rewrite reality itself. Before we go any further, hit that subscribe button now. Stay updated on shocking true crimes that rarely see the light of day. Stick with us till the end as we uncover another chilling mystery. She was in her 20s, vibrant, responsible, and deeply loved by her family. Friends described her as a type of person who could walk into a room and instantly lift the mood. She had a good job, strong relationships, and a future filled with plans and possibilities. Her boyfriend was different. Outwardly charming, he could be attentive and affectionate. But beneath that polished surface lay troubling traits, jealousy, insecurity, and an obsession with control. Those close to her had quietly noticed the tension. Arguments had become more frequent, and his temper was no longer easy to ignore. Still, few could have predicted how far he would go when anger and desperation finally boiled over. On what should have been an ordinary weekend, everything changed. She spent Friday evening making plans with friends, texting her family about small details, what she would wear to work, where she wanted to go next weekend. Nothing seemed unusual. But by late Saturday, her phone fell silent. No calls, no texts, and for her, that silence was unthinkable. By Sunday morning, concern turned into dread. She hadn't shown up for her shift at work. Her mother, who spoke to her daily, couldn't reach her. Calls went straight to voicemail. Friends flooded her phone with messages that remained unread. And yet, the boyfriend had an answer ready. She just needed some space. He told her loved ones that she had stormed out after an argument. He said she'd left to clear her head and would come back when she was ready. His voice was calm, rehearsed even, but his story didn't sit right with anyone. During the first 24 hours after her disappearance, the boyfriend worked carefully to build a narrative. He texted her phone repeatedly, knowing no one would ever see the messages. He crafted conversations that made it seem as though she were alive and ignoring him. He even posted on social media, casually mentioning her name, creating the illusion that she was simply out of reach. To anyone looking closely, however, his behavior was strange. He didn't join her family in retracing her steps. He didn't call hospitals or police stations. Instead, he focused on appearances, on maintaining a performance. But investigators would later discover what he was really doing in those early hours: cleaning, wiping down surfaces, hiding evidence, erasing digital traces. The cover-up had begun. To keep up with this series and even more interesting true crime stories that never came to light until now, hit the red subscribe button. Now back to the story. By the second day, her family could no longer wait. They filed an official missing persons report. Detectives began canvassing the area, speaking to neighbors, pulling phone records, and requesting surveillance footage from local businesses. The boyfriend, however, doubled down on his story. He told police she had walked out after an argument and that she always needed alone time. He implied that she had a pattern of dramatic exits, hoping to make her disappearance seem voluntary. But inconsistencies began to emerge. Neighbors recalled hearing shouting late at night. A surveillance camera caught him driving her car alone, long after he claimed she had left. A phone record showed her phone had gone dark in his apartment, not on the street where he said she walked away. Meanwhile, his own behavior became more erratic. He was spotted driving aimlessly, circling back to certain locations at odd hours. He began contacting her friends with contradictory stories, telling one that she'd gone to visit relatives, and another that she'd headed out of state. It was during this time that he made his biggest mistake. He returned to the scene of his own crime. CCTV captured him late at night, hauling bags into a dumpster miles from his apartment. To passers-by, it looked like late-night trash. To investigators, once they uncovered the footage, it was clear he was trying to get rid of evidence. On the third day, the facade started to crumble. Detectives, suspicious of his calm demeanor and inconsistent statements, decided to press harder. They requested access to his apartment. What they found was unsettling. The smell of bleach, recently scrubbed floors, and personal belongings of his that should have been with her she had truly left. Family members, desperate for answers, confronted him directly. His responses were chillingly detached, more focused on defending himself than showing concern. Meanwhile, investigators reviewed the CCTV footage frame by frame. They traced his movements across the city, piecing together a timeline that contradicted everything he had told them. Finally, when presented with the evidence, the footage, the phone records, the forensic findings, the boyfriend's lies collapsed. He confessed. In a violent outburst, he had taken her life. And for 72 hours, he had worked relentlessly to erase her existence, fabricating messages, driving her car, and disposing of evidence, all in a desperate attempt to outsmart the truth. The revelation devastated her family. For 3 days, they had held on to hope that she was alive, hope that she would walk through the door, hope that her silence was temporary. Instead, they learned that the man who had smiled at family dinners, who had been welcomed into their home, had been hiding a deadly secret the entire time. What horrified them most wasn't just the crime itself, but the cover-up. The idea that, while they cried, searched, and pleaded for help, he had been lying to their faces. The case quickly moved to trial. Prosecutors presented the chilling timeline. The sudden silence. The staged text messages. The social media posts. The late-night disposal trips. And the forensic evidence tying him to the crime scene. Jurors listened in stunned silence as prosecutors painted the picture of a man who had not only murdered his girlfriend, but had spent 72 calculated hours trying to fool everyone around him. In the end, the jury didn't hesitate. He was convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison. But for her family, justice was bittersweet. No sentence could bring her back. No verdict could erase the 3 days of agony, the sleepless night spent wondering where she was, the false comfort of a liar's words. Her story is a reminder of the darkness that can lurk behind a familiar smile. It's a warning that sometimes evil doesn't show itself immediately. It hides in plain sight, pretending to care while secretly plotting. For 72 hours, he thought he was smarter than everyone else. But the truth is a way of breaking through. And in the end, his lies couldn't save him. Cases like this remind us how important it is to stay aware of the warning signs in relationships. Jealousy, control, and manipulation can escalate into something far more dangerous. If you found this story eye-opening, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a case we cover. Share this video with someone you care about, because sometimes awareness can save a life.